Before we step inside this beautiful Mediterranean-inspired home, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more serene and stylish interiors. Don't forget to like the video if you love calming spaces and warm design moments, and tap the bell icon so you never miss a new visual home tour. All right, let's begin. Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, we're stepping into a Mediterranean-inspired living room that redefines elegance with an organic soul. Imagine warm stone floors underfoot, gentle natural light filtering through linen drapes, and a palette that whispers sand, clay, and olive leaves. As you step into this space, your senses are greeted by soft edges, no sharp lines, just curves, arches, and sculptural forms that relax the eye. The room doesn't shout for attention, it invites you in. There's a serenity in the natural plaster walls, with their imperfect texture catching the light just so. Your attention moves to the custom-designed archway, a nod to old-world architecture framing the space like a curated vignette. This is more than just styling. It's storytelling through form, light, and texture. Every element feels lived in, thoughtfully chosen, and yet completely effortless. You're not just looking at a living room, you're entering a calming rhythm. So let's keep moving. You'll notice how each corner has something subtle to say. Now turn slightly to your right. The main seating area comes into view, anchored by a plush, oversized linen sectional in a warm stone hue. It's generous without being overwhelming. The fabric has that lived-in softness that only gets better with time. Accenting it are a few low-slung chairs with curved backs in light oak, a quiet nod to coastal Italian villas. You'll love how the chairs' gentle silhouettes mimic natural forms, avoiding anything too rigid or modern. The coffee table here is the heart, a custom hand-carved travertine piece with soft edges and rounded legs. It grounds the space with a subtle sophistication. Above it, a textured ceramic bowl holds dried olive branches, bringing in an organic sculptural touch. The entire scene is bathed in a golden morning light, which bounces off the neutral tones to create warmth. It's cozy but never cluttered. Every object has space to breathe. Look up for a moment. The ceiling adds another layer of charm, exposed wooden beams, softly sanded and whitewashed. They carry an aged, weathered beauty like driftwood that's seen decades of sun. Their presence elongates the room and draws your gaze upward, making the space feel airy yet intimate. Hanging between the beams is a sculptural pendant light made of hand-woven rattan. It casts delicate shadows across the ceiling at night, like patterns on the seafloor. You can almost hear the ocean. As you turn slowly back toward the entry wall, you'll notice a subtle built-in niche, arched and minimalist, housing a small collection of handmade ceramics. These aren't just objects, they're character pieces. Slightly uneven, subtly glazed, each one adding texture and life. The whole setup whispers rather than shouts, and it rewards your attention. Here, craftsmanship and soul live in the details. Let's walk across the room toward the windows. Here, the Mediterranean influence comes alive with filtered natural light and sheer linen curtains and off-white. The windows are large, wooden framed, and swing open like old shutters. No screens, just an invitation to let the breeze in. Below the windowsill, there's a long bench-style console crafted from reclaimed elm. It doubles as storage and a quiet display. On top, there's a stack of well-worn books, a sculptural lamp with a linen shade, and a small olive tree in a handmade terracotta pot. You can see how the natural elements speak to each other: the wood, the stone, the plant life. It's all a soft, slow dialogue. If you pause here, you'll feel the way this corner shifts through the day. Sunlight pouring in during the golden hour, shadows stretching lazily across the bench. The entire mood of the room changes with time, which makes it feel alive. As we pivot toward the dining area, you'll notice the flooring underfoot, natural limestone tiles, and a subtle tumbled finish. They're cool, grounded, and irregular, just enough to remind you of ancient coastal homes. Transitioning into the open-plan dining zone, there's a quiet grandeur in how the space is proportioned. A long wooden table, solid but not heavy, sits at the center, surrounded by armless, low-profile dining chairs in cane and oak. The table surface is imperfectly smooth, with visible knots and grain that tell its own story. Centered above is a 3-arm iron chandelier, slender and curved, echoing the organic lines found throughout the home. The styling is spare but intentional: a runner in soft flax linen, a trio of ceramic candle holders, and a low, wide bowl of fresh figs. This isn't just a place to eat, it's a place to linger. Let's drift now into the side alcove, just the dining space. This smaller nook holds a built-in reading bench nestled under an arched window. The cushion is covered in a muted clay tone fabric, and the walls curve gently inward, creating a cocoon-like effect. Above, floating shelves in raw would hold a curated library of design books and vintage Mediterranean cookbooks. There's even a tiny carved lion statue perched at the edge, a charming, playful detail. Beside the bench, a small pedestal table holds a carafe of water and a ceramic tumbler. It's the kind of quiet luxury you only notice when you slow down. Here, every surface and every curve seems to embrace you. This space encourages pause, which is rare in most modern homes. It's a hidden jewel of the house. Turn back now toward the living room and let's focus on the wall art. There's no gallery wall here, just a single oversized canvas in neutral tones with sweeping abstract strokes. The piece feels like a Mediterranean breeze captured on linen. Around it, wall sconces in aged brass with frosted globes add a warm, ambient glow. These aren't statement lights, but rather atmospheric punctuation. They quietly frame the art, giving it presence. Beneath the canvas sits a long console in curved plaster with a matte chalky finish. On it, a large ceramic jug, dried palm fronds, and a small bowl of hand-polished stones from a nearby beach. This vignette, like many in the space, feels both personal and styled. It's an interplay between nature and nurture, design and instinct. Next, your eye may land on the rug, soft underfoot, low pile, and patterned with subtle geometric lines in a muted sand tone. It anchors the seating area without pulling focus. It's the kind of rug that blends into the room's palette, offering comfort and cohesion. Alongside, a woven basket holds layered throws, cotton, wool, and one made of vintage sari scraps for a whisper of color. On the armrest of the sectional, there's always a linen pillow slightly askew, inviting you to sit. These tiny signs of imperfection make the space feel used, loved, lived in. There's a restraint in the color choices, but a freedom in how the textures play together. You won't find glossy finishes here. Everything is matte, tactile, and approachable. Let's explore the fireplace wall. It's not the usual grand marble statement, but rather a subtle, sculpted plaster design in an earthy taupe. The hearth is raised just slightly and extends into a bench-like ledge, doubling as informal seating or a styling surface. Inside, stacked logs sit artfully even when unused. The fireplace contributes to the room's rhythm. Above the mantel, there's no mirror or painting, just a large, roughly textured clay disc mounted directly onto the wall. It feels ancient and modern all at once. To one side, a slender olive branch leans casually in a tall ceramic vase. On the other, a few weathered books and a piece of driftwood balance the look. The beauty of this space is in what's left unsaid. Now follow the soft lighting as the sun begins to dip. The whole room transforms. Table lamps with linen shades cast a honeyed glow. A flickering taper candle on the coffee table adds a sense of ritual. Even the linen drapes seem to change tone, becoming warmer, deeper. The curves in the furniture become more pronounced in the shifting shadows. The evening ambiance here is less about overhead light and more about layers, ambient, reflective, intimate. A glass of wine or a warm cup of tea feels right in this moment. The space feels like it's exhaling.